In recent years, the United States has faced increasing challenges on the financial front, leading to concerns about the nation's economic stability. From ballooning national debt to growing budget deficits, several factors contribute to America's struggle to maintain its fiscal health. In this video, we delve into the reasons behind America's financial woes and explore the implications for its future. Number 5. Soaring national debt. America's financial strain is deeply rooted in its soaring national debt, which has reached staggering levels exceeding $30 trillion. This accumulation of debt over the years has placed a significant burden on the country's economic stability and fiscal health. The federal government's persistent deficit spending, coupled with a myriad of factors such as wars, economic downturns, and demographic shifts, has contributed to the exponential growth of this debt. One of the most pressing concerns associated with this mountain of debt is its implications for future generations. As the debt continues to escalate, it imposes an ever-increasing financial obligation on the shoulders of young Americans who will inherit this fiscal burden. The prospect of saddling future generations with such a massive debt load raises moral and ethical questions about intergenerational equity and the responsibilities of current policymakers. Moreover, the ballooning national debt poses significant risks to the economy at large. A substantial portion of the federal budget is allocated towards servicing the interest payments on this debt, diverting resources away from critical areas such as infrastructure, education, and healthcare. This diversion of funds limits the government's ability to invest in long-term growth and innovation, hindering economic progress and prosperity. Number 4. Rising budget deficits. In tandem with the escalation of the national debt, budget deficits in the United States have been steadily on the rise, compounding the nation's financial challenges. Despite sporadic efforts to rein in spending, the persistent gap between government revenues and expenditures continues to widen, fueling concerns about the sustainability of fiscal policies and their implications for the country's long-term economic health. One of the primary drivers behind the widening budget deficits is the structural imbalance between government revenues and expenditures. While revenue sources such as taxes, tariffs, and fees contribute to the federal coffers, they often fall short of covering the expansive array of government programs, services, and obligations. This imbalance is further exacerbated by factors such as demographic shifts, rising healthcare costs, and escalating interest payments on the national debt, all of which place additional strain on the budget. Moreover, discretionary spending, which encompasses areas such as defense, infrastructure, and education, often exceeds available revenues, leading to recurring deficits year after year. Efforts to curb spending in these areas face significant political challenges as they involve difficult trade-offs between competing priorities and vested interests. Furthermore, economic downturns and emergencies, such as the COVID-19 pandemic, can exacerbate budget deficits by necessitating increased government spending on relief measures and stimulus programs. While such interventions are vital for mitigating the impact of crisis and supporting economic recovery, they can further strain the government's finances and contribute to the accumulation of debt. The persistence of budget deficits not only reflects unsustainable fiscal policies but also undermines the country's long-term economic prospects. Deficit spending, especially when financed by borrowing, can lead to a crowding out effect, where private investment is crowded out by government borrowing, reducing overall economic growth potential. Additionally, mounting deficits can erode investor confidence, leading to higher borrowing costs for the government and dampening economic activity. Before we start again, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now let's go to number 3. Entitlement programs strain resources. Entitlement programs like Social Security and Medicare serve as critical safety nets, providing vital support to vulnerable populations, particularly retirees and individuals with disabilities. These programs have played a crucial role in alleviating poverty and ensuring access to healthcare for millions of Americans. However, the escalating cost of these programs presents a formidable challenge to the nation's fiscal sustainability. One of the primary factors driving the rising cost of entitlement programs is demographic trends, notably the aging population. As the baby boomer generation reaches retirement age and life expectancies increase, the number of beneficiaries relying on Social Security and Medicare continues to grow. This demographic shift places immense pressure on these programs' finances as a larger proportion of the population requires benefits, while the workforce contributing to these programs shrinks. Moreover, healthcare inflation and advances in medical technology contribute to the escalating cost of Medicare, driving up expenditures for both the government and beneficiaries. The rising cost of healthcare services, prescription drugs, and long-term care further strains the financial resources allocated to Medicare, exacerbating the program's fiscal challenges. Additionally, the structure of entitlement programs, particularly Social Security, is based on a pay-as-you-go system, where current workers' payroll taxes fund benefits for current retirees. However, as the ratio of workers to retirees decreases and life expectancies rise, the sustainability of this system is called into question. Without meaningful reforms such as adjusting eligibility ages, recalibrating benefit formulas, or exploring alternative financing mechanisms, these programs risk insolvency, jeopardizing the financial security of current and future beneficiaries. Furthermore, the intergenerational dynamics of entitlement programs present ethical and moral dilemmas. Younger generations face the prospect of shouldering a disproportionate burden of financing these programs through payroll taxes, with uncertain prospects of receiving comparable benefits in the future. This imbalance raises concerns about intergenerational equity and fairness, prompting calls for reforms to ensure the long-term viability and equitable distribution of entitlement benefits. Addressing the challenge of escalating entitlement costs requires a balanced approach that preserves the fundamental goals of these programs while ensuring their fiscal sustainability for future generations. Policymakers must explore a range of reform options, including means testing, adjusting benefit formulas, increasing eligibility ages, and promoting cost-effective healthcare delivery models. Number 2. Taxation challenges. Taxation serves as the primary means of funding government activities, providing the necessary revenue to finance essential services, infrastructure projects, and social programs. However, the United States grapples with persistent challenges in maintaining a fair and balanced tax system that maximizes revenue while minimizing inefficiencies and inequities. One of the significant challenges facing the U.S. tax system is tax evasion, which occurs when individuals or businesses deliberately underreport income or overstate deductions to reduce their tax liability. Tax evasion not only deprives the government of much-needed revenue, but also undermines the integrity of the tax system, eroding public trust and confidence in the fairness of taxation. Combating tax evasion requires robust enforcement measures, such as enhanced auditing and enforcement efforts, as well as greater transparency and information sharing to deter illicit tax activities. Moreover, the proliferation of tax loopholes and deductions further complicates the tax landscape, allowing certain individuals and corporations to exploit legal loopholes to minimize their tax obligations. These loopholes often benefit high-income earners and large corporations, exacerbating income inequality and distorting economic incentives. Closing these loopholes and simplifying the tax code can help level the playing field and ensure that all taxpayers contribute their fair share to government revenues. Furthermore, America's tax code is widely regarded as outdated and in need of comprehensive reform. The complexity of the tax code not only imposes compliance burdens on taxpayers, but also creates opportunities for tax avoidance and evasion. Simplifying the tax code, eliminating unnecessary provisions, and streamlining tax filing processes can improve efficiency, reduce administrative costs, and enhance compliance. Number 1. Economic downturns and emergency spending. Periodic economic downturns and unforeseen emergencies, such as the COVID-19 pandemic, present significant challenges to America's finances, exacerbating fiscal strains and complicating efforts to achieve long-term stability. During times of crisis, governments often resort to emergency spending measures to address immediate needs, such as providing economic relief to individuals and businesses, bolstering healthcare systems, and supporting essential services. While these measures are crucial for mitigating the impact of crisis and facilitating economic recovery, they also impose considerable financial burdens on the government, further straining the budget and contributing to the accumulation of debt. The COVID-19 pandemic serves as a stark example of the fiscal pressures associated with emergency spending. In response to the pandemic's unprecedented economic and public health challenges, the U.S. government implemented massive stimulus packages, including direct payments to individuals, expanded unemployment benefits, small business loans, and funding for healthcare initiatives. These emergency measures helped cushion the economic blow of the pandemic and support households and businesses facing financial hardship. However, they also added trillions of dollars to the national debt, exacerbating existing fiscal vulnerabilities and raising concerns about long-term sustainability. Finding a balance between addressing immediate needs and maintaining long-term fiscal sustainability is paramount in navigating crisis effectively. While emergency spending is necessary to stabilize the economy and protect vulnerable populations during times of distress, policymakers must also consider the implications for future generations and the overall fiscal health of the nation. This requires careful prioritization of spending, efficient allocation of resources, and prudent management of debt levels to avoid excessive borrowing and interest burdens. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this.